get heavy, get light, right? Now I'm kind of loaded here. Now you've got to push down. What's that do? That gets you on that left side, sets that post. So now I can push against the ground.
Thing that you watch with Rory, you watch with Scotty, even when you see the shift, you see them rotating through the golf ball.
Down hard, right?
Oh yeah.
And guess where your hands end up? They can't help it.
Yep.
I'd be really careful of lateral in the backswing.
Yes.
One thing that I would say, you got to look at things in relation to other things, right? So look at the hips, but look at them in relation to the feet. So I can specifically think of 3 guys yesterday. 3 guys where their hips were this way. So their upper body was out in front of the lower body. And so there's no sport that your upper body leads your lower body. It doesn't exist.
Only time ever is when you're bunting.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's for a purpose. Right? For the weakest,
because
for the weakest action ever.
All I'm doing is going like this and letting the ball hit the bat.
Bunt the home run though.
Right. So, but here's what's interesting about that, right? I had 3 guys that were like this. And so you know how I always talk about this. I'm like,
face on here, Ken.
Bump, slide.
Yeah, see this, guys?
Right.
That's the 1-in-1 we talk about. So go back to a neutral position, Todd. So here's the neutral position, guys. Watch.
Bump,
1,
slide.
What are the things that you see most commonly over the 62 now? What do you see in the setup? People create that secondary tilt.
I hate the secondary tilt.
Like this.
Yeah.
And then the spine just curves.
Yeah. I think there's an illusion that people see, and it's simply that if I stand with my spine neutral, like I can go up and down with my shoulders, right? Mm-hmm. Well, when I tilt forward, right, and then I go bump, and again, the 1 inch is like that. It's not like this, right? So bump, slide. Well, now my sternum is closer to my right knee than my left. My spine is neutral, but watch. When I hold the golf club, my right hand goes down, so my right shoulder goes down, my left shoulder goes up, but that's different than going like this.
Exactly right.
Right?
Exactly right.
So,
exactly right.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of your very small inch hip bump, a very small slide, but you're not, I love to see to me this visual right here, where it's there is huge. Yeah. And then understanding this hand's lower.
Now, and,
so naturally, the right shoulder's gonna be lower. That's what gives that appearance.
Like I just attended this Top 100 Teachers Summit that was at Citrus Cabot. It was John Tattersall was doing a presentation just about ground force. Mm-hmm. And, he was kind of swinging this thing, and he was just talking about, and there's so much out there about ground force. And what is it? It's pretty simple when you think about it. All it is like push down. I say get heavy, get light, get heavy, get light. Right. To kickstart it, if I stand here and I'm kind of still, it's like it's hard. But if I push down, I can push up. It's kind of like boom, boom. And it's not a huge movement, but it's just enough to kind of push down, push up. And it's kind of a feeling of get heavy, get light, right? Now I'm kind of loaded here. Now you've got to push down. What's that do? That gets you on that left side, sets that post. So now I can push against the ground, right, where I'm going to go this way. And watch Kyle Berkshire and some of them, they're coming down. They come down, they're so heavy here. And then as they come into it, the foot spins out, right?
We'll put an Air Joiner video up there. I'm telling you right now, Isaiah, his foot.
Right off the ground. Yeah.
It was over there. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. And I would get that foot to kick back, but he would always say, there's nothing to it. There's no mass over there.
Yeah, anyone can just do this.
Yeah. But I'd finish off the mat.
Push there.
He's telling me, imagine I'm sitting on this platform, push, this
push
mat
the ground away from him.
As far as I can away from me. Yeah.
Scotty Scheffler, it's like look what he brings to the game as far as, his movement of, you look at the golf swing, you look at his feet, and we wouldn't teach that. But now that we're seeing someone who's maybe the best ball striker he's certainly the best ball striker of the time, and we're watching how he does it. Well, he doesn't move backward.
Yeah.
Right? He's always
into it.
He's always going into a good solid left side.
But one thing he's always doing, guys, is he's rotating. And it's very important to understand that for many of us, lateral movement kills the ability to rotate for some people. And I watch a lot of people slide into the golf ball who stay facing the ball far too long and then use their hands to hit it. One thing that you watch with Rory, you watch with Scotty, even when you see the
Great
shift,
rotation.
you see them rotating through the golf ball. So be very careful with that. But yeah.
Well, here's what I would say about that. Is people ask me about that all the time. You know,
Yeah.
is the transition supposed to be lateral or rotational? And I'm like, it's both. So good players don't just go lateral or just rotational, right? They set the post like we've
Set the
always
post
talked
like
about.
always done, yep,
So if
exactly.
I'm here, I'm on that right side, you know, and I talk a lot about, you know, what's load? Load is loading the muscle. So when I see someone kind of start going like this, there's no muscle load there. So
Right, it's a
like
spin.
getting started here and then get to the top where I've got some load in the quad, the glute,
Yeah.
then this plants. Well,
Look
that's
how
about
he
a
still
6-inch
maintains that
movement.
brace, though, guys. You know, you
Right.
can see he's not getting that knee to the outside of the foot.
Right.
You know, see that pressure getting way out there. Yep,
And
there
then
you go.
now you better darn sure, and this is the thing that's the key about the hands, like the lateral, you need enough lateral to get the hands in the pocket. Now you better turn it on and rotate
Yep.
like crap through, like as
Exact-
hard as you can through
yes.
it. So, you know, the people, there's so many amateurs that don't do that. They go like this.
You know what's funny? My better players and I always say, it feels like, it's so funny, Todd says it's a little bit lateral, a little rotational. And the answer is, yes, it is. Of course, we set up and put ourselves in a spot where we're not a mile off the goal in the first
No.
place, where we have to make
Now,
this
we can't get back to
huge
it.
shift. You can't get back to it, right? But the big thing that I feel, and they feel the same way, and this is doing both. For me, it always felt like my hips go at a 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
Meaning, it feels like it's
Yeah.
there. So
Yeah.
it's that way. So yeah, they're getting into it, but they're
But
still
you're right on
opening
that
up.
left
I'm
hip,
right on that
right?
left,
Left hip,
Notice,
left heel.
See what he means, guys?
Yeah.
Like, look at your femur. It's going to be lined up here with your foot. You know, we start getting out here to the
No.
tremendous amount.
No.
Man, good luck. Not only are you going to be hurting yourself in that hip labrum out there,
Yep.
but look where Todd is right there.
No
but you're
good.
going to kill your rotation.
Right,
And
so-
that's a slide. Okay.
Yep.
But you
And
can see what he's
keep
doing.
in mind here,
Look
the
at-
knee is still flexed. It's
Yes,
not locked.
exactly,
right?
exactly.
And so in impact, I'm like that, but I'm definitely here and then rotating around through it. Talk about amateur
Yep.
golf. What's the most common swing that we see, we know, right,
Yep.
is this. The guy who goes behind, and all he can do is throw his right shoulder to get to the golf ball, and yet good players do not throw their shoulder, they drop their hands.
Absolutely.
So if I turn and everything's in front of me, right, and then I get to the top, well, I'm in a position where as I get left, I can get the hands in the pocket now, push off the ground, turn the corner.
We hear drop. Drop to us is more of a direction, vertical,
Yep.
as opposed to outward.
Yep.
Drop isn't literally gravity.
It's an
Our
action.
hands, it's an action.
Yeah.
And I think that it's important to talk about this because I get this question a lot. I'm just thinking back to our YouTube comments. Drop, do I feel drop? And I'm careful with the word drop. I understand what the word drop means, and we all do. It goes this way. But it's an action. And people ask a lot of times hand speed. Hand speed's very important, very important. We see the benefits of it on this range every day. Now, where does hand speed come from? In my old answer, you know what it used to be? Your hands. So just spin them up. Like, what do you mean? Like, yes, to a small degree. But over time, what I've realized even about myself, it's that load, the coil that then loads, it's that necessary tension that builds up that allows me to actually feel like I can have the hand speed. Because it's not going to create itself. It's like if I'm here with no necessary tension, I'm not coiled, I can only accelerate them so fast.
So I always talk
a
about
bow and
like-
arrow.
Yeah, well, a rubber band. Like
Rubber band, exactly.
I tell people sometimes, imagine you had one muscle from your pinky that went through your forearm, through your tricep, through your shoulder, through your lat, through oblique, one muscle.
You told
And
me
your
this.
Goal,
You told me this. I
right?
love this, yes.
Your goal is to get to the top and get that one muscle fully extended
Remember
like
the
a
chain?
rubber band.
Our viewers know this.
Yeah.
That there's like a chain right here, right? And then I got it from you. I mean, it's just
Get it there.
the feeling, the stretch
and so
right
what
there. Yep.
happens when you take a rubber band, you let it go. It shortens. Well, that's speed, right? So if there's tension, then I can have speed and I can get down there. And one thing I think is a cool exercise for people to get a slam ball. Is you go to the top, right? And you try to throw it as hard as you can into the ground. Well, what's happening? Your shoulder is staying back as your hands come down, right? Well, add your left
Love
hip
this.
to it, right? And I'm going, and I can get that thing really going into the ground hard. Right.
Oh, yeah.
And guess where your hands end up? They can't help it. They're down here
Okay.
and they end up like this.
At Forzak Golf, we take a lot of pride in having developed some of the best and most consistent golf swings on the planet. We do this through simplicity. Our Full Swing Masterclass will take you on a step-by-step, easy-to-understand process on how to get your golf swing better than ever. Join the many before you who've utilized our Full Swing Masterclass to take their games to the next level and beyond.